Hello everyone. You are listening to the audio production of Unlock Your Mind: How to Unleash the Creative Power of Your Thoughts. This audiobook is brought to you by Your Coaching World.
Introduction. As humans, we have certain powers that we can exercise to our advantage, but unfortunately, most of us are not even aware of this. One of these powers is the mind power. This power is regarded to be one of the most useful and strongest powers. Especially when you blend it with your imagination, it can help in producing either obstacles or opportunities, unhappiness or happiness, and failure or success. It's your mindset that determines what you get, whether positive or negative. The foundation of this power is strongly rooted in your thoughts, which are regarded to be the primary constituent, and when you infuse these thoughts with your emotions and focus, the power these thoughts hold will be significantly increased and become strong enough to shape your reality. A lot of the things that occur in your life can be traced and linked to the thoughts that traverse your mind. Nevertheless, take note that all thoughts are not the same. For instance, some thoughts tend to stray. These only occur in your mind sparingly, maybe like once or twice. They are not that powerful, but the thoughts in your mind that occur often are the predominant ones. These, when constantly repeated, can influence your attitude and behavior. They will significantly impact how you act and respond, and they will mold your reality. One thing about our thoughts is that they're so powerful that they can dictate how our life turns out. You must have probably heard the expression, "as a man thinketh, so is he." There's nothing truer than this, and mind you, this isn't limited to men alone, women are included too. So, if you're a lady, this also stretches to you, and as a matter of fact, it implicates all humans generally. If you want to create great changes or want to become someone with significant value on Earth, it all starts from your thoughts. The mind power is the base that contains all your thoughts, mental images, and attention. Your mind and thoughts, even though they're invisible just like the wind, they're filled with so much energy and are potent enough to impact your life. Thoughts have a creative power. While they can be used to influence the minds of other people, one can also make use of them to effect changes in oneself, and once the power they hold is fully recognized and understood, you can further strengthen and train them. Your thoughts are like seeds. When you take care of them and give them all the essential things they need to germinate, like fertilizers and water, they'll germinate healthily. In this case, it's your enthusiasm, interest, and attention that nurture your thoughts to grow and become very powerful. Your mind power plays an important role in creative visualization and enabling the law of attraction, and in this book, you'll be learning everything you need to know about the mind power, how to harness the creative power of your thoughts, and how to further strengthen them to thrive, enjoy more success, and live happily. Chapter 1: What is mind power? We, humans, are referred to as higher animals because of our capacity to differentiate between what's wrong and what's right, but another thing that makes us more powerful and significant is our brain. Yes, the brain we possess makes us so powerful, but it's quite shocking that most of us barely utilize a quarter of its power to our advantage. Two factors have been attributed to why this is so. Foremost, our subconscious mind is intensely occupied, and secondly, we are excessively generous with the information we expose our brains to. Of course, the brain we have can store a huge pile of information, but what we don't know is that once this load becomes too burdensome, the subconscious mind steps in and it's delegated to handle certain tasks. This process is quite important because the brain may become too overwhelmed and compressed if it has loads of details to process and review without any assistance from the subconscious mind. Nevertheless, when it comes to unleashing the mind power, it's important to understand how your brain currently functions, and to harness the mind power, you must learn to tap into your subconscious mind. How does your mind power work? You'll be needing your subconscious mind, whether you seek to be successful in distinct areas of your life or want to be creative, which means that having a fine grasp of how the subconscious mind works will be very helpful in unlocking your mind power. The term wild monkey is what has been used to describe our subconscious mind, and this is simply because of how unrelenting the animal is, and just like this wild monkey, our subconscious mind has a way of giving us vital pieces of information when they're needed. Ways to use your mind power. You can open yourself to growth and more opportunities if you learn to unlock your mind power. The idea is for you to nurture this wild monkey, and though the next chapter has more details on the subconscious mind and how to unleash its power, here are a few tips you can make use of to tap into the potency of your mind power. Be conscious of what you're putting in your head. Oftentimes, we love to fill our heads with different things, but what even makes it more distressing is that it's fear and negative self-talk that we cram inside our minds. For you to unlock your mind power, you must start becoming aware of the things you put in your mind. If your mind is constantly open to negativities, it will be disrupting and damaging the belief system you have. For instance, if you nurture the belief that the work you have is boring, there's a high tendency that your mind will respond by enabling your emotions to react negatively about the job. If you feel you have amazing relationships and you're loved and happy with your coworkers, partner, relatives, or children, it will have a positive impact on how you treat these people. So, it's all about what you believe in because it can significantly influence your life. Work on desire. Your subconscious mind has the power to work on positivity, just as it can work on negativity too. The desire you express is what fuels its energy. This mind power harnesses the goal you've set for yourself, and when you start being desirous for it, your mind gets into action and starts working in line with you. This explains why you see the likes of successful individuals and professionals such as athletes and entrepreneurs who have mentioned that it's their deep desire that makes them who they are today. So, you must have a desire and be fervent about it. Have the right sources. Lack of knowledge is one of the few things that hamper people from harnessing their mind power. There are times that some people find it difficult to get tangible pieces of information from credible sources or aren't even clear about where to begin. Make sure you seek the right knowledge and don't be quick to accept any information you get. Challenge, query, weigh, and measure. Give yourself the drive to learn. Just as you're willing to garner knowledge, show eagerness and willingness to learn. Nevertheless, just as you're learning, make sure that you're making necessary applications. To unlock your mind power, you must be intentional about getting the right information, learning, and applying. Make sure that it's what you're passionate about that you're reading, and when you start making applications, do well to look for what makes you inspired or excited about doing it. Be open to change. Change is always inevitable and shockingly unpredictable. From failure to life mystery, one can never tell what will happen next. Uncertainty and doubt can cripple you just like negative self-talk and fear, and due to this, you must learn to be open to change. A lot of people's voices can be very loud about their readiness to accept change, but when the unexpected changes come, they'll be very reluctant to take the leap. It's very necessary to be open to change if you want to unlock your mind power, because change itself is what makes you alter your perspective to make you more creative and successful. You may as well need to make little changes for things to work out well. Let it be now. A lot of people have a way of postponing their happiness. Oftentimes, you will hear them make statements like, "Once I start my business, I'll be happy," or "As soon as I shed 10 pounds, I'll be happy." Who says you can't be happy now? One terrible mindset you can have is to let specific results stall your growth and happiness, as this will give you more problems and feed your mind power with negative energy. Charge your mind with positive energy and you'll see how things around you will be significantly impacted. Surround yourself with positive people and things. What kind of people do you keep close to you? Is it positive or negative people? The people that are close to you have a very strong influence on you because they can either help you see things in a positive manner or further reinforce fear, intimidation, and poor beliefs in you. You need to surround yourself with positive people, and with the same energy, charge your mind with inspirational content and anything that brings you happiness and joy. Quit speaking of success in the future. It is the present that matters. Redirect your attention to the present. Whenever you speak about success, be conscious of the way you speak about it. Encourage yourself and build the habit of saying, "I'm working on this right now," or "Nothing is stopping me now. I am going after it instead of perpetually saying I used to be so good at it or I think I may do it someday. Our mind has a way of telling us that certain things may never come if we keep associating happiness, creativity, and success with the future. We need to be intentional by kicking it off with our present actions and approach the future gradually. Chapter 2: Unlocking the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. The first chapter gave you a glimpse of the subconscious mind and how powerful it is to serve as a launching pad into greatness or sorrow, depending on how you use it. However, there's still more you need to know about it so that you can have a comprehensive grasp of its intriguing nature and exploit it to your advantage. One of the most powerful tools you can make use of to get riches, happiness, and success is being able to permeate the conscious and the subconscious minds. All the things in our lives run through this mighty secondary system called the subconscious mind. Why is this so? It's simply because this system has all your life details ranging from all the things you've thought of, done, and seen to your skills, memories, experience, and beliefs. Everything that is not in your conscious mind can be found in the data bank of the subconscious mind. It also serves as a guidance system that checks the information that goes in and out of you, verifies opportunities and dangers, and passes information to your conscious mind whenever you need it. Do you notice that sometimes when you want to tell someone something, you may start saying I'm trying to figure it out, but later, it just comes to your mind? This information has been stored in your subconscious mind, and because there's been communication that you need this information, the subconscious has communicated to the conscious mind to give you that info. More so, whenever an image from the past, a memory, an emotion, or an idea pops up in you, it's your subconscious mind feeding your conscious mind this data. The communication between these two is a two-way thing. The conscious gives it to the subconscious, and the subconscious gives it back to the conscious when needed or when it's summoned. Communicating to your subconscious mind. Do you know that you can communicate to your subconscious mind? Yes, you can. The challenge about doing this is that it's often difficult because this kind of communication needs strong emotions. To be clear, words or thoughts expressed and backed up with genuine emotions are the strong emotions here. However, these thoughts or words can be positive or negative. This explains why certain people are often vehement about telling others to be careful about what they think of. It's simply because these thoughts, if they're backed by strong emotions, can stay in the subconscious mind, which can have a significant impact. And what makes it more distressing is that the positive thoughts and emotions are often less strong than the negative ones. Clearing up and using faith and love. As already explained in the first chapter, thoughts that are backed up with negative emotions must be eliminated before you can unleash the awesome power of the subconscious mind. So, how do you do this? You can use extreme positive counterthought to counter the negative thoughts that attempt to infiltrate your mind. This is called the counter technique. You can also use the delete button technique. This can be a bit technical because it requires mental imagery of you pressing the delete button, just like you're thrashing out a negative thought. Once you've been able to get rid of the negative thoughts, now start feeding your subconscious mind with your burning desire by expressing the action, determination, and willingness to do all that it takes to become successful, and before you know it, you'll find your dream coming true. Faith and love. Unlike those barbaric, displeasing, and hurtful negative thoughts, sex, love, and faith are regarded to be the most powerful, positive emotions. Sex is more biological, but love and faith are more spiritually inclined. Now, when you combine these three, they can enable any thought and serve it an easy entrance into the subconscious mind. From there, the work begins, which will start reflecting in diverse areas of your life. Faith, amidst these three, is a unique one. It can get to the subconscious mind via repeated instructions or affirmation, and it can be created or induced. It's a state of mind. It's not the same thing as hope. Hope cannot stay where faith is. Faith is advanced, hope is lesser. You're confident about the outcome when you keep the faith, but if it's hope, you're just hanging between the ropes and expecting whatever might happen. To make this incredible power of faith work for you, you can make use of the visualization technique. Believe that it's already true, don't hope that it will be true. Visualize yourself living that fulfillment. Take it further by setting minutes daily to sit yourself in these vivid imaginations. You can also use the physical preparation technique by getting yourself set for the outcome, or use the detachment technique, which is a safer technique that will not get you attached to the outcomes but make you open to different options and possibilities. Training your subconscious mind to get what you want. Before now, you may have been hearing about the subconscious mind and how powerful it is. This is indeed true, and it's not overrated. The subconscious is the root that influences your actions that determine or further influence how you heal, become whole, happy, or become successful. Nevertheless, it's vital that you train this powerful mind not to be your enemy but one of your greatest allies. Here are some vital tips you can make use of. Observe the unchangeable change. Attempt to see if it's possible before you decide to believe that it's possible. This is the first step to creating a massive change. It's important that you're realistic enough to understand that you'll not become a wholehearted believer in a day. Understand the array of possibilities and work through them. Free yourself to be happy and successful. Just as mentioned earlier, don't wait until tomorrow before you start doing what matters to you most or before you become happy. Permit yourself to approach a meaningful, grounded, healthy, happy, and whole existence. Beware of the shadows of doubt. This shadow of a doubt is often cast by the fears of others. It goes further to tell you to be cautious about the kind of people you welcome in your circle. Don't let your life be the screen that reflects and projects the fears of others. Others are others, you are you. Understand that their uniqueness and situations have nothing to do with what you can do. Create a vision space. Before you can know where to turn, you need to be aware of where you're going. This is where visualization steps in. When you let your mind have that picture of your desire, you'll feel guided on how to proceed to achieve that goal. Start a gratitude journal. The importance of gratitude cannot be underrated. Not only does this help to keep your headspace in a state of abundance, it also helps to draw abundance to you. Chapter 3: Transforming your mind into a creative powerhouse. Creativity and innovation are responsible for being the fuel that helps high-ranking and highly valued companies such as Google, Tesla, and Apple to thrive, which means that behind every breakthrough product, there's creativity. In this century we're in, creativity runs the game. Employers are not only looking for skilled and hardworking employees, they're also looking for smart thinking and creative workers. However, creativity isn't too common. Many entrepreneurs and individuals are quick to settle, instead of attempting to push for a room to foster the creation of breakthrough products. In fostering creativity in you, here are 4 essential tips you can make use of. Don't run from problems. Problems provide opportunities for solutions. Most times, obstacles tend to deter us from making certain progress, but instead of throwing in the towel, build the gut to channel a creative approach to provide a solution by exploring the given opportunity. Refuse to be defeated by problems. One of the essential functions of obstacles is to encourage you to think of a different way of providing a solution by digging in deeper. Give yourself constraints. If you've once watched certain shows and competitions such as Cupcake Wars or Chopped, you would be impressed by the outcomes of the participants and how they are always able to come out with something creatively magnificent, despite the time and ingredients constraints. Applying this ideology can also work for you. Create within constraints and set a challenge for yourself. You'll realize that you'll be able to come up with new ideas that you never thought of before. Compel yourself to produce. Producing a larger quantity of ideas has a way of helping you discover the unique idea you need. Over a particular period, work on generating a specified number of ideas where you can pull out different ideas and select the most unique one. When you do this, you'll probably first think of common ideas, and as you proceed, and you'll start nursing the urge to do things differently. Make yourself uncomfortable intentionally. Creativity has two enemies, and they are familiarity and comfort. Don't be too comfortable with the norm. Quit the idea or mindset of this is how we used to do it, or this one keeps us free from stress, and stretch yourself a bit beyond your comfort zone to get yourself exposed to distinct experiences, cultures, and views. Ways to unleash your inner creativity. Regardless of who you are or what you believe in, there is a high possibility that your inner self will contain something unique, and given this, you can exploit the advantages posed by this inner self to unleash creativity. Although it's believed that certain people are naturally born to be creatives, there are plenty of others who must make a series of conscious efforts before they can hone their creativity. Just as it's said, practice paves the path for perfection, which means that nothing comes in a flash. It's a persistent attempt to practice that will help you achieve a particular feat. To unleash the potential of your inner creativity, you must foremost start by conducting an inward search, and from there, you proceed to be persistent to work on the creative muscles, and lastly, you can start relishing the sense of fulfillment and the other benefits it gives. Speaking of unleashing your inner creative genius, here are more tips for you. Be observant. For survival, it's very important to be sensitive to both the negative and the positive changes around you. When it comes to creativity, you must not leave any part left out. Even the tiniest details shouldn't be left without considering how improvement can be made. While this can become overwhelming, it's advised that you do an analysis and get things sorted appropriately to make you more organized and not too pressured. Explore other places. People who are creatives are often adventurous. They enjoy exploring new experiences and places, and explore these new experiences to their advantage. For you to add more spice to your creativity, all you may have to do is to get out of your shell. However, this will not be possible if you're always sitting in your comfort zone. Make sure that the atmosphere you create wherever you go or wherever you settle to think and brainstorm is conducive for creativity. Exercise regularly. Several studies have highlighted how important regular exercise is, so there's no need to further emphasize how important it is. While there's a possibility that your subconscious might have buried your innovative thoughts, simple forms of exercise such as running, walking, and jogging can help to unlock them. Exercise can boost your creative performance and increase the functional capacity of your brain, just as it can strengthen the muscles and limbs. So, whenever you go jogging or take a walk, you may want to consider going with a notepad where you can quickly scribble down whatever idea drops in you. Be hyper-inquisitive. There's nothing wrong with seeking more knowledge and insights, even though the expression "curiosity kills the cat" is often used to steer people away from being overly curious. Regardless of how brilliant someone may be, creativity may be absent if that person cannot think and ask questions to uncover the why. So, you may have to be hypervigilant. Without curiosity, creativity is weak. For you to open yourself to more possibilities, you must first open yourself to more knowledge. Brainstorm without limit. Beware of societal standards and don't be defined by them. Deviate from that norm and don't settle for less. This is very crucial in unleashing that inner creative force. Take note, people may call you different names like weird and all, but when everything starts taking good shape, all those who've attempted to wash you down will soon start seeing you as being unashamedly unique. By brainstorming, you'll be freeing yourself from being narrow-minded and all the criticisms and self-doubts that may have been impeding you. When you brainstorm, you'll get lots of ideas, and it's afterward that you'll now filter and hold on to that which is more practical. Practice actual creating. Now, you've brainstormed and you've got loads of ideas to choose from, and you've eventually made a choice. Don't let it all go away like that. Get into the work. Creativity isn't a short-term thing. It's lifelong. Keep pushing yourself beyond your boundaries as you practice your craft. Be yourself. The best person you can be in this world is yourself. Yes, you may look up to certain people and you can have a role model and a mentor. What this should do for you is to provide a base for learning and instructions to become better. To thine own self, be true are the words of the great Shakespeare. The best form of creativity is being yourself so that even when people see you or your works, they're fully convinced that, yes, this is this person. She isn't fake or trying to be somebody else. When you remain who you are without being mediocre about it, it adds more beauty to who you are. Chapter 4: How to Think Clearly and Become Smarter. The ability to think clearly is a very valuable skill, but despite its significance, it's quite a task. The simple truth is that the methodologies of how to think are never taught in school because this skill is self-taught, which means that you have more to do on your own to develop this skill, and if you're ignorant of this, it could affect certain things in your life significantly. Individuals who have learned how to think clearly are exploiting the advantages for their own good, but people who fail to do otherwise are suffering the consequences. The beautiful thing about thinking clearly is that it will make you not spend a large chunk of your time writing the mistakes you've made, and when you've learned how to think clearly, you'll be able to make smart and informed decisions. How do you learn to think? When we speak of thinking, it's important to know that it's a very broad aspect, and this question about how to learn to think can be applied to distinct concepts. For instance, it could be about how to think to, plan, discuss, study, learn, memorize, innovate, make smart decisions, or how to resolve an issue. Oftentimes, the primary problem with learning how to think isn't about learning itself, but about letting go of nonsensical thoughts. In fact, when you look at the question of learning how to think again from another angle, it could relate to how to be aware of the happenings in the environs and the prospects, how to employ a better perspective in seeing the world, how to refrain from the act of name-calling or labeling people, how to retreat from jumping at a swift conclusion or making assumptions, how to be logical, how to be an effective communicator with others, how to be non-judgmental, how to be open-minded. All these are rooted in learning how to think. Learning to think clearly. Quickly on the discussion of how to learn to think, note that it starts with the analysis of your thoughts, the recognition of how you think, which may be called your thought pattern, and the errors you make from your thinking. You may want to consider learning new concepts by using learning tools to improve your thinking. Now, here are some tips you can make use of to think clearly. Take a deep breath. Taking a deep breath is very vital, and it's the first thing to do because it helps your body to find its balance through the flow of oxygen. You'll be improving the capacity of your brain to think more clearly when you take a large breath, which will also help you feel calm. Organize your thought. Amidst the myriad of thoughts running through you, it's possible you'll feel agitated, and therefore you need to have your thoughts organized. So, how do you organize your thoughts? You make a list. To think clearly, generate a list by clearly written things down as they pop up in you. You'll not only find clarity with this, but you'll also become smarter. Assess your attitude. Do your desires match your focus? Let's say you brainstorm different ideas to get something done. Do you have the right attitude to follow through? You must be sincere with yourself if you truly desire to have clear thinking and focus. Be specific. One of the things that can mess you up is when you're not specific about what you intend to achieve. You're bound to lose direction, and you will be putting your brain through enormous pressure if you continue to change goals or you're not sure about what you want. If you have lots of goals, you can write them down. Take a nap, and when you're awake, think of the one you want to be specific with. Leverage your passion. There will be challenges you'll face on your journey to be better and smarter, but with the passion you have, you'll pull through, and when you eventually push through, there's that pleasure you'll derive, and with the process you can keep leveraging the passion to find clarity. Generate positive action from negative thinking. You see, the thing about our mind is that negative thoughts will always try to creep in, but what you must do is beat these thoughts at their game. How? For example, whenever you think of how something isn't possible, start thinking of what can make it possible by stimulating, imagining, brainstorming, and focusing on the positive possibility. How to train your brain to think differently. Training your mind to think differently isn't impossible. Here are 3 major tips you can make use of. Prove yourself wrong. There are times that your brain doesn't tell you the truth. Sometimes, it may communicate to limit what you can do. For instance, you may start getting the feeling that it's impossible to finish reading a book you plan to read today, or think that completing your degree isn't possible. Rather than throw in the towel just as the thought came in, decide to take it up as a challenge. Challenge yourself that until you get to the last page, you won't stop reading. Or, if you think you've arrived at a tipping point, choose to stretch yourself a bit more. What you'll be doing to your brain when you do this is that you'll be teaching it to see possibilities and think differently. Instead of choosing to be scared by how big a book is, erase the negative prophecy that may want to creep in about it. Before you know it, your brain will start shifting from the negative and impossible capacity to a different perspective and understanding. Create your mantra. You can think of mantras as the protective sword and armor that shield you from damaging thoughts. If you're always quick to believe you'll fail and you tend to discourage yourself from taking a meaningful step due to this, you'll need a mantra. Mantras do help you combat and discard limiting and negative thoughts through the introduction of positive phrases and expressions. Your thought pattern will begin to be clear and your negative thoughts will become gradually subdued when you start speaking positively. Reframe. What exactly are you reframing? It's your negative thinking pattern. You may use this in place of the mantra, and if it works for you, you can combine the two. Use a true/positive statement to counter the negative thought, and when you do this, you're telling your brain that though it may be a bit foggy, you'll try and you won't stop trying. Chapter 5: How to Cultivate a Positive Mindset. The word positive mindset isn't strange to many because it is often used, and several gurus, stage educators, and life coaches have emphasized how significant it is in achieving success. Truthfully, one can never overemphasize how significant it is to adopt a positive mindset. While it can cause a decrease in how you feel badly or negatively, it can also impact your mental health positively and boost the quality of your life. Nevertheless, you must also know that you must try to find a balance between positive and negative emotions because it can be counterproductive when you become obsessed with positivity. What is a positive attitude and positive mindset? When you have your spiritual, physical, and mental energy positively focused on different areas of your life, that is a positive attitude. When you do this, you'll look forward to positive results. Nevertheless, the presence of a positive attitude doesn't mean negative thinking patterns will not occur from time to time or that you won't feel any negative emotion at all. What matters is your attempt to bring the best out of these difficult and negative situations. Speaking of a positive mindset, this has to do with the way you see yourself and the people that surround you. It also cuts across recognizing your talents and strengths and learning to see the good in others. Benefits of adopting a positive mindset. When you develop and adopt a positive outlook on life, you're bound to enjoy an array of benefits. Foremost, get ready to see a massive decline in your stress level. If you've always been stressed mentally, it may be all the negative thoughts that have infiltrated your brain and are constantly hammering you with reminders of all the bad things that could happen that are weighing you down. With a positive mindset, you'll become an optimist, and with this, your mind will be programmed to look for the good in the bad that may have happened or is about to happen. A positive mindset prevents you from immersing yourself in the stress of what you cannot change but prompts you to do your best. The benefits of a positive mindset also extend to your physical health. Several pieces of research have shown that people who are optimistic have a high tendency of having a stronger immune system. With this mindset, there's a low chance of you experiencing depression and cardiovascular diseases at an old age, and your score of resilience can also be massively affected by your positive attitude. You will enjoy a plethora of benefits when you adopt a positive mindset, and here are even more. Greater resistance to the common cold. A greater sense of connectedness. A greater sense of purpose in life. more meaning in life, fulfillment, and happiness. Improved relationships, greater resourcefulness, enhanced ability to survive moments of hardship and stress, better well-being physically and psychologically, lower levels of anxiety and distress and reduced risk of depression, longer lifespan. Essential habits of positive people. The habits of positive people are worth learning. These people have certain traits that separate them from other people, which have undoubtedly made their lives better. Knowing these habits will also help you understand the few changes you may need to make and what you must emulate. What are these habits? Here they are. They are not confused. What is that thing they're not confused about? They know the difference between letting go and quitting. These people are always glad and open to letting go of bad, negative, and unhealthy energies in their lives, and they understand that this is different from quitting. They make a good day. Positive people are busy defining how their day would go while others are still wishing, hoping, waiting, or expecting whatever the day brings. Positive people are not passive, they get involved and put in the effort to make things work. They let the past remain in the past. Positive people are too occupied making new memories, and they don't have the luxury of ruminating on past bad and good memories. They are grateful. Gratitude itself is an attribute of a positive mindset, and if there's one thing common about positive people, it is how grateful they often are. Positive people express their gratitude by seeing life as a treasure chest teeming with plenty of goodies. With new experiences, feelings, sights, and smells, they're always eager to approach the day with the good that awaits, and their focus is not on their lives' potholes. They are energized by their possibilities. Positive people are driven and motivated by the possibilities they see, and they often do refuse to be clamped down by limitations of any kind. They have an optimistic view about life, they're courageous to devise and apply new solutions to old problems, and they don't waste their time by focusing on what they can't do. They know how to handle fear. Positive people understand that fear can stand in their way of greatness and stunning discoveries, so they try to live a full life that is not ruled by fear. Fear does not stop them from attempting innovative ideas, even though they'll always apply caution. They would rather fail than not try at all, and if they fail, they know that it's a necessary push to greatness, and they'll rise stronger when they fall. They smile. They smile not because they have it all already or they have life all figured out, but because they are confident that things will get better, so they express their sense of humor as they see the lightness in life. When you hang out more with positive people, you should get ready to smile often too, because these people know how to make big mountains appear like it's nothing much, and their smile is contagious as well. They are great communicators. Positive people are effective communicators who know how to express themselves tactfully with so much enviable clarity. They don't involve themselves in risky, judgmental, angry interchanges. They know how to connect with people and form meaningful relationships with people. They communicate confidently and assertively, they wouldn't take on people's problems like it is theirs, and they won't allow themselves to be pushed around. They understand that pain and sadness do come sometimes. You don't have to be happy always before you're acknowledged to be positive, a lot of people tend to mix this up. Being happy all the time is an illusion, especially for people who have depth. Feelings of disappointment, anger, and sadness are part of life's primary emotions, which means that they're inevitable. All these emotions are in us to help us to be empathetic towards others. Positive people do go through some of life's turmoil, just as people do, but they do hang on to hope that the light will shine very soon, and they don't deny their emotions so that they can heal. They are empowered. What makes them empowered is the meaningful connections they have established in their lives. Whenever they are down, they reach out to their fellows who would gladly extend their hands of support. With their positive mindset, they don't hold grudges, and they limit communications with toxic folks. Chapter 6: Tactics for Increasing Brain Power, Memory, and Motivation. You will agree with me if I tell you that there are times when we feel so weak, tired, and exhausted. Moments like this do come, but what can be done to get back on track? Life is like a race, we all want to be up and running, make use of our time effectively to do the things we find most pleasing, but even in the process, there are certain challenges we face at some phases. While we must learn to know when to take a nap to rest and recuperate, we must also be cautious not to let our excessive desire for sleep rob us of our dreams. Tips to boost your motivation, memory, and brain power. Life can be so tricky at times, but as living entities, we just must do what we can to live a happy and successful life, achieve our goals, and line daily with clear intentions. In overcoming the blue days, we would often be needing motivation. There are two major forms of motivation, the one that comes from self and the one that's incited by external factors. Learning to light your own fire will be better for you because self-motivation is very powerful. You don't need to wait till you feel inspired before you move forward, you can set the atmosphere and make things happen. You'll be opening yourself up to new experiences and favorable outcomes when you start taking action, and it's through action that motivation and progress start. Here are some helpful tips you can make use of to increase your motivation, memory, and brain power. Simplify your life. For you to simplify, the basic thing you need to do is to plan your life creatively. How do you plan? You eliminate and delegate. To be able to achieve your goals by harnessing your energy and time fully, you need to eliminate or delegate certain activities that you do not find exciting or motivating. The thing is, when you have loads of tasks and projects to do, your mind will be cluttered and confused, and staying motivated will become challenging. However, when you simplify, you'll be able to gain more focus and get rid of the things that are not necessary. There will be more motivation when you become focused. Focus on how far you've come. We do make the mistake of measuring our success by how much closer to our dreams and ideals we are when we should be measuring by how far we've come. This very common act is one of the reasons why many people procrastinate and are demotivated. Nevertheless, you'll be setting yourself up for success if you start being aware of how your brain works and you change your thinking. Use your brain to measure your process and achievements, no matter how little they are, visualize and solve problems, and this will make you feel happy and incited. If you need to feel more energized and happier, you should also be more specific. Get your motivation boosted by having your feelings grounded and thinking of your achievements from a specific starting point. Set measurable goals. Goals are vital for our success, and they also influence all the steps we take in achieving our dreams. However, don't just set any kind of goals, set goals that are specific and measurable. One thing this will do to your brain is that it will help it focus and be trained on the specifics you've set, and will also foster motivation. You'll feel inspired, motivated, and happy when you begin to make real progress towards these goals. Now, let's get practical. Pick up a pen and a piece of paper, write down certain goals that you wish to achieve in 90 days, and attach a purpose for every goal you write down. Make sure these goals are measurable and visualize how it will feel to have these goals achieved and what they will add to your life. Shift from getting to giving. A lot of people are always thinking about themselves all the time. While it's a good thing to prioritize yourself, you must also try to make things not all about you all the time. Just as Wayne Dyer had said, there will be changes in the things you look at when you start changing how you look at things. If you've always been in a position where you are always getting, make that change to shift to giving. When you do this, you'll see that you'll be encouraging your brain to start channeling more creative methods and ideas to spread more abundance. When you start focusing on giving, it may become a focus you want to live for, and you'll find it to be a satisfying cause. Giving doesn't have to be about cash at all, it could be anything at all, and you'll realize that when you merge it with gratitude and have yourself surrounded by people who share the same mindset, there will be a spike in your level of motivational energy. Create a new habit. Habits are the little things we do that can help influence big results in our life, and most times, the biggest results are created by the smallest shifts. Maybe you're considering starting a new habit that will contribute to improving your communication skills. You want to start creating videos or exercising regularly. You'll need repetition and consistency to solidify your new habit. Creating a new habit and repeating it can help your brain wire new pathways, which can add a significant contribution to you. Before you sleep, direct your subconscious mind. Don't be quick to jump into bed and call it a day. Always send a request to your subconscious mind before you go to sleep. The brain we have is equipped to provide fantastic solutions to problems. If you've been battling to supply answers regarding a decision, try to visualize the experiences, questions, ideas, and challenges before you approach the warmth of your bed. Practice this too whenever you have set some goals for yourself, and you'll see that diverse ideas and connections would have been created by your subconscious mind that you've engaged with this task. Once you're up from bed, don't forget to pen down all that occurs to you, and most importantly, take actionable steps. Most times, you get some of the best answers when you sleep on a difficult problem. The subconscious mind is as powerful as that. Here are a few other notable things you can do to increase your motivation, memory, and brain power. Focus on your environment. Express more gratitude. Increase your energy. Visualize your ideal future. Take more actions. Chapter 7: Powerful Ways to Change Your Thinking and Change Your Life. There's no need to further emphasize how powerful thoughts are. Many things we attract into our lives are rooted in our thoughts. If you keep repeating a particular thought, sooner or later, it will start affecting how you behave and act, and the consequences of these actions, either positive or negative, will impact your life. So, if you keep thinking about success and happiness, there's a high chance that you'll be inviting these two into your life. Why this is so isn't a magical thing. Thoughts work via the natural laws of attraction, and when you have a firm grasp of how they work, you can use them to your advantage to get positive results in life. To change your life, you must first change your thinking. How you react, act, and feel will be altered when you change your thinking habits, and you'll only experience an outer change when you exercise this inner change. You'll be capable of turning your dreams into reality when you merge the power of thought with a burning desire and enduring persistency. And if you've been lagging due to a mishap in your thinking pattern, here are some tips you can make use of to change your thinking. Decide to change. Until you truly decide to change, you'll keep doing the same old thing, and remember that doing the same thing and expecting a different result is nothing but insanity. So, you must first ask yourself and do an inner inquiry on how truthful you are, because you'll only be wasting your time if you haven't truly made up your mind to change your thinking. You would have probably heard different stories about people who put their minds to achieving certain things and they eventually emerged victorious and achieved their dreams. It's simply because they decided and they stood firmly by it. Let's say you want to lose weight because you weigh too much and it's becoming unhealthy. You must first make a firm decision to follow through with the process, and from there, you must erase whatever thinking you have about being heavy and inactive and redirect your mind to visualize how active you'll be and the result you'll get in the long run. Let go of masochism. What is masochism? Masochism is simply explained as an act of enjoying being humiliated or receiving pain, and anyone who's into masochism is a masochist. The thing is that a lot of us are masochists in our little ways. Oftentimes, we love to create the thoughts of pessimism, gloominess, and self-punishing thoughts to bask in our misery. This is not good and it must stop. For instance, we may think of a plan and we start thinking of the negative and start living in the misery of that plan turning negative. This kind of thought isn't healthy and can not only affect your mind but implicate your physical health negatively. Count your blessings and joy. There's this song that endears you to count your blessings and name them one by one. But tragically, a lot of people only sing and probably dance/vibe to that song, they never put it into practice. When we are afflicted with troubles and problems, we're quick to forget all the blessings and joys we have in our lives. Nevertheless, if you can manage to reflect on your blessings, you wouldn't be needing anyone to tell you that you're indeed blessed. Gratitude has a way of changing the negative to the positive, just as it can change poor thinking to healthy thinking, a stranger to a friend, a house into a home, a meal into a feast, confusion to clarity, and chaos to order. Savor the joys of your achievements. While it's easy to be plunged into thoughts of you not having some of the things you've always wanted, you can think and savor the joy in some of the things you've been able to achieve in life. You can also use the energy you derive in the pleasure and satisfaction of these achievements to conquer the moody feelings that may engulf you over your present challenges. Don't be overly serious. I know life can be so demanding and challenging, but don't restrict yourself from being childlike and playful. One of the beautiful things about children is how simple their mind is and how innocent they are. Kids are quick to forget all the petty tiffs they have with their peers, and before you know it, you'll find them playing not so long. Kids find it natural to forgive and forget, and therefore they're always smiling and happy. So, make sure you don't lose the child's heart in you. Let your happiness be in the present moment. A lot of people like postponing their happiness, even though they're not so sure that waiting will bring any happiness. Yesterday has passed and tomorrow is unsure, but you have today. Choose to be happy today. Quit the thinking of waiting to be happy when things go in a particular way in the future. Be the master of your mood. Many people find it easy and normal to be a slave to their moods. It's high time you changed how you handle things. Choose to be the governor of your city of happiness. Don't hang your happiness on anybody because people can fail you. Your happiness shouldn't also be dependent on a situation or material possessions. Be the master of your moods. Wake up with the resolution to stay happy. Plan your day to be a happy one. Before you leave your bed in the morning, have it in mind to stay happy all through the day. Do whatever makes you happy. You can go for a walk in a close-by park, watch birds flying high in the sky, appreciate the beauty of the trees around, or take a walk in your garden. Make it a daily duty to be happy and remind yourself to be calm whenever you sense trouble. Look at things differently. The whole act of changing your thinking is you not being hell-bent on a particular view, thought, or opinion. Staying open to the views of others is part of what it means to have a change in a thinking pattern. When you do this, you'll start noticing that you'll develop fresh ideas and opinions, and you'll become more curious to ask certain questions regarding the things you used to defend. Chapter 8: Staying Clear from Negative Self-Talk. If you've been following this book closely, you would notice that there has been a lot of emphasis laid on being positive and developing a positive mindset. This is simply due to how difficult it is to be positive. Negative self-talk is a major reason why a lot of people do not get their desired financial improvement, intriguing skills, a sharp mind, a forgiving heart, a healthy body, better relationships, and unlimited opportunities. We tend to be quick to submit to the convincing negative voice in our head, and with that, we allow this negative inner voice to push us into a higher level of stress, depression, and anxiety and hold us back from achieving our heart desires. Knowing how to take this inner voice and harness it as a positive force is very important if you want to improve your mental health and reach your potential. Kinds of negative self-talk. Negative self-talk comes in 4 major kinds, which includes polarizing, catastrophizing, personalizing, and filtering. Filtering. This is when you keep making the negative part of a situation look so big, or you make your act inflate that negativity. For instance, let's say you were able to lose 20 pounds last month, but during the first week of this month you somehow gained 3 pounds. You shift your attention from the success you've had and you start drooling on this increase. Personalizing. If you're used to blaming yourself for all the things that happen to you or the people around you, this is personalizing. For instance, maybe you want to go out with a friend to watch a movie, and then the friend calls you at the last minute to say that she can't go out again because she isn't feeling too well. If you believe that this person is lying and was only finding an excuse not to hang out with you, just as every other person tries to avoid you, you may have been personalizing. Catastrophizing. This is when you're always looking forward to the worst. For instance, let's say you arrive late at work and you automatically presume that the whole day won't be pleasant. Polarizing. You look at things as being horrible or perfect. For instance, let's say you attempt a project and you fail, then you believe you're horrible, or you had an argument with your friend and therefore you believe you're a horrible friend. Ending negative self-talk. When you understand these different kinds of negative thoughts, you can now start being conscious of when they start occurring to you. Then, you should ask yourself if you're sure you're seeing things as black and white, expecting the worst, blaming yourself for what you can't control, or filtering out the positive. As soon as you provide yes to any of these questions, you should know you've treaded on negative thinking and it's time to reframe your thinking. Here are 3 simple ways to further end negative self-talk. Respond to your inner voice. The conversations we have with ourselves are often the toughest kinds of conversations. No matter how much you're respected or the high level of attention you command, if you have a very critical and demeaning inner voice, people may keep looking at you with great respect, but you would never stop looking down on yourself. So, what you must do about this inner voice that often tries to make you look cheap, unworthy, and counterfeit is to respond to it. Turn that voice into positive self-talk. Never make the mistake of ignoring it by saying it will fade off soon. Respond with something like, I may not be perfect, but I'll never stop trying, and when you do this gradually, you'll see that you'll be liberating yourself from this robber. Be kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself solves a huge part of all of this. Imagine yourself being your best friend. Remember how you always look out for that favorite friend of yours, and now imagine yourself as that friend. Refrain from telling yourself hurtful or ridiculing words. Be soft, compassionate, and kind to yourself, and don't be quick to make assumptions. Accept your imperfections, but don't refuse to work on yourself to become better. Stop trying to be perfect. This last tip buttresses everything. One of the things that makes people feel bad about who they are or how they see themselves is due to their endless pursuit to be perfect. Expect perfection at your own risk, because you're bound to fail if your mission is to be perfect. Sounds harsh, right? Well, it's just what it is. Leave perfection for the Almighty, just do your best and leave the rest. Rather than chasing perfection, chase progress and keep getting better. Appreciate everything that comes your way and keep counting your blessings, my friend. Conclusion. You would never know how powerful your mind is until you take the step to start unleashing the incredible power it wields. Through the power of your mind, you can become more successful, happier, healthier, change how you feel, and achieve great things. With this power of your mind, your whole life can be changed. Only if prayers and wishes can get this mind power unlocked, it would have been easier, but they don't. So, it's necessary that you put in the work it demands and focus on doing things that help your mind grow and keep training it to become stronger and work for you positively. Don't forget that whether you live a contented, happy, or sad life, the quality of your life is largely determined by the nature of your thoughts, and these thoughts have a way of transcending into actions. So, you must start being intentional and conscious about how you treat your thoughts and help your brain shift to a positive thinking pattern. Good luck!